Hey, Orange County, some people are officially calling this a buyer's market. Now, is or isn't it? Well, we have the data we're going to share with you. Today is June 26th. This is Dean Odell with Seven Gables Real Estate in the Odell Group. Let's take a look at the analytics and analyze what's really going on here in Orange County. So these are all the charts we're going to be looking at today. Let's get started with the first one, which is Orange County active listing inventory. Look where we are today, almost 4,900 homes. That's up quite a bit from 2 weeks ago, almost 250 more homes than 2 weeks ago. And last year, look at how low we were. We had like 50% less homes, right? I mean, we have 1.5 times more homes right now than we did last year. We're following that red line. You can see how it made its way up after kind of leveling just a little bit. And if you really look at where does inventory normally peak during the year, we still probably have another month or so. So we're gonna have to watch and see where this goes. And we look at the 3-year average. The 3-year average is 6,633. So we're still pretty far away from that. But let's look at how demand is showing up. Look at that red line. It is right there with the previous 2 years. And I think what that is demonstrating and showing us is that this is where our demand is going to stay as long as interest rates are around 7%. And we have been at 7% or so for about 32 months now. I mean, that's a long time. That's over 2.5 years we've had interest rates up. And what we're seeing is demand is not changing. And the only thing that's going to change that demand is going to be interest rates, right? So take a look at those numbers. You can see they've been very consistent, still about 1,000 less than the 3-year average, but overall demand is staying steady. Let's look at the Orange County expected marketing time year over year, and you can see how that has suddenly turned up, right? All of a sudden, buyers are not showing up. Rates went from about 6.25% to 7% over that time period where they were flatlining, and now they're climbing. So time is up. It's taking 91 days for the average house to sell now. That's up from 85 days 2 weeks ago. It's up from 57 days last year. And we are now consistently staying above that 3-year average that was 75 days. So it is slowing down. But let's look, most importantly, how does that look by price range? A lot of the headlines are coming out saying it's a buyer's market, right? Is it truly a buyer's market though? It is in some price ranges, not in others. Let's look at this chart. This chart demonstrates that up to about 1.5 million, it is still a slight seller's market. If you look at the legend in the top left that shows the days on the market and how that relates to what kind of market it is, you will see slight seller's market up to 1.5. You'll see a balanced market between 1.5 and 2 million, a slight buyer's market between 2 and 2.5 million, and after that it becomes a deep buyer's market. But remember, these numbers are for all of Orange County, and so you always have to look at these numbers, how they apply to your area. And today we've done that for the zip codes of Tustin. And what you're going to see here in the Tustin data may be a little bit different from what's going on in the general county of Orange, right? This was through May. So, we're almost through June now. So we're going to have to see how this changes in the next couple of weeks, these numbers. So let's look at the 3 zip codes. You can see they're all up on homes for sale. You can see that our solds were actually up across all the zip codes. And the pendings were way up in the 92705 zip code, right? Months of inventory, you can see that that has not changed much. When you have only a month and a half of inventory, that is not a whole lot. I mean, it takes about 3 to 4 months of inventory to get a balanced market. Okay. People ask me, well, how do you measure months of inventory? Well, it's not that hard. Months of inventory, if you look at a price point, let's just say we were going to look at $1 million to $1.2 million, we'd say, okay, well, between $1 million and $1.2 million in the last 3 months, there's been 10 houses that have sold. And right now there's only 5 houses on the market. So that means that we only have a month and a half of inventory, right? We have half as many houses as it's going to take to sell over that 3-month period. That's how months of inventory is measured. Looking through this, you'll see that the average active price has dropped in 2 of our zip codes. So that's kind of interesting, lower priced homes. And on the average sold price, you can see that the average sold price has gone down. And this is mainly because interest rates are up. So, you're not seeing people buy quite as expensive of homes. And, affordability wise, it's just tough. We all know that if we're out there, right? So if you look at the final list price and original list price, how that compares to the sales price, you're not seeing a whole lot of overbidding going on anymore, right? You're seeing a little bit of a drop in 92705, you're seeing about the same in 92780, and you're seeing quite a bit of drop in Tustin Ranch in terms of overbids. They're not selling at 104% of their prices like they were last year at this time. We look at the average days on the market. This also tells a story. Think about what we were just talking about for Orange County. I mean, we're below 30 days in all zip codes, okay? That's really good when you look at the county's average is 91 days, right? So Tustin is a thriving market. Tustin is a good market. And we're gonna talk about how that could relate for you, especially if you're selling a home in Tustin, but more importantly, what you gotta do as a buyer and seller in my advice right now. So, what's going on out there? Well, we have boots on the ground. We have 5 agents out there, including me, that are all out there buying and selling houses for our clients. And what we're seeing is that if you're a seller, pricing is so critical right now, it's amazing. I mean, we're seeing houses that have sat on the market that all of a sudden get price reductions, really aggressive price reductions, and believe it or not, they get bid back up. And why is that? Because the buyers are sitting on the fence. The buyers want to recognize that it's a good deal, and they don't really want to keep going up in price over the last sale. I mean, it's tough out there. You got to run the numbers. You got to go onto a calculator and just look at how much it costs a buyer to own a house. I mean, if somebody borrows $1 million, they're going to have almost a $7,000 house payment just in principal and interest. If they're putting 20% down, that means they're buying a house for, you work the numbers backwards. That means they're buying a house for $1,250,000. They're gonna have $1,000 a month at least in property taxes. Now they're up to $8,000. Their insurance rates are up. I mean, you're talking about people having, $8,500 to $9,000 house payments at $1,250,000 with 20% down. I mean, first of all, you got to figure out how to come up with the $250,000, right? This is not easy for buyers right now, unless they're rolling some equity from a condo that they may have owned as a first-time buyer or something else. It's very hard for people to come up with that down payment. And then when you look at what the payment's going to be, ask yourself as a seller, would you pay that? Would you do that? Okay. We got to get more reasonable when we're on the listing side of the business. Okay. The buyer side is tough right now, but as a buyer, it is what it is. You can see that the demand is staying consistent. Is the inventory going to continue to grow and give you more advantages over the seller? That remains to be seen. But just know if interest rates drop, you're going to see more competition come into the marketplace. So keep your eye on that. I would say that if you see something out there that you like, you just make an offer for it, okay? And if you want good advice, whether you're a buyer or seller, you want to know how to maximize your sales price, or as a buyer, you want to know how to be competitive and do a good offer and everything. Now's the time you call people with experience, you guys. We've been around for a long time. I've been in the business 35 years. Almost everybody on my team has been in the business 10 to 15 years now. I mean, there's a lot of experience on this team, and we're starting to see how that is working to the advantage of our clients. Quite honestly, this is one of the best years we've ever had in real estate, and we've had some really good years. We're off to a very, very good start on the first 6 months, and there's a lot of people that just cannot figure out how to get their listings sold, can't get their buyers to buy because they don't know how to advise them. They haven't been around long enough. So it's really good to seek the voice of experience in a changing market so that you can feel comfortable with the direction you want to take as a buyer or seller. So please give us a call. Let us help you. This is what we do. This is what we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for a market where, not just anybody can have the answers, right? This is the time to draw on experience to understand what's best for you. So give us a call. Please like us. Please subscribe to us, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Thanks. Bye-bye.